Hello fellow entrepreneurs, welcome to my channel where I read and summarize books relating to being a better entrepreneur. I've met no one who I thought was wise who didn't read. I believe reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. So today, we'll be learning from Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. We can only achieve our life goals if we are motivated by a strong desire. Many of us wish for wealth and financial independence, but wishing will not help us achieve our objectives. We must recognize a burning desire within ourselves if we are to become wealthy and realize our dreams. Thomas Edison, for example, could not be deterred from his goal of inventing an electric light source, despite more than 10,000 failed experiments. He was simply motivated by the desire to realize his dream, and after years of toil, he succeeded in doing so when he invented the light bulb. Fannie Hurst, a writer, went through a similar ordeal. She received 36 rejections before one of her short stories was published in a newspaper. Her career as a successful novelist and playwright took off after that. Her burning desire had proven to be stronger than her frustration at being rejected, and she was eventually successful. As a result, it's critical for those of us who want to succeed to examine our own personal approach to setting goals and dreams. This video is broken up into 10 parts. Part 1. Achievement is built on setting goals and meticulous planning. Part 2. Have unwavering faith in yourself. Part 3. Our subconscious can influence our behavior. Part 4. Knowledge is power, and it doesn't have to come from school. Part 5. Imagination is where our dreams come true. Part 6. Knowing your own strengths and weaknesses can help you succeed. Part 7. Positive emotions are essential to living a happy and successful life. Part 8. Tenacity and perseverance really matter. Part 9. Only the most determined will succeed. Part 10. Be intelligent and surround yourself with intelligent people. Part 1. Achievement is built on setting goals and meticulous planning. Every success story starts with people who have a clear vision of what they want to accomplish. So, before pursuing any old dream, you should first define your own personal goal as precisely as possible. If you want to become wealthy, for example, you should first determine how much money you want to make. You should also have a clear idea of when you want to achieve your goal and how much money you're willing to put into it. Because it's pointless to set a specific goal if it's floating in the future, where you'll only be able to pursue it half-heartedly. It's also critical to devise a strategy that lays out each step you'll need to take to achieve your goal. And once you've devised a strategy, get to work. Don't waste any more time. If you want to make sure that your desire for success is deeply rooted in your own thoughts and actions, use the following method. First, make a list of your objectives and a detailed plan for achieving them. And second, read it aloud twice a day, once you wake up in the morning and once before you go to bed. If you follow these suggestions, you'll find it much easier to become wealthy or to achieve any other goal. Part 2. Have unwavering faith in yourself. Having unwavering faith in yourself ensures that you can and will accomplish your objectives. You can only succeed if you have self-confidence and unwavering faith in yourself. No wealth has ever been amassed, no distant continents have ever been discovered, and nothing has ever been invented without this faith. Mahatma Gandhi was a great example of this power of faith. He managed to defy British colonial power and lead his country to independence, despite not having access to traditional instruments of power, such as money or the military. His only support came from his unwavering belief that he could exert such power over his fellow citizens that they would stand up for their common goals. Our own self-confidence has a huge impact on our self-image and way of life. It has the potential to help us move mountains in the truest sense of the word. Part 3. Our subconscious can influence our behavior. Unwavering self-confidence isn't something you're born with, or that appears out of nowhere. Anyone can cultivate it over time through autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a method of self-control that involves thinking very specific and purposeful thoughts or ideas. You can use it to communicate specific commands or positive goals to your subconscious mind, thereby increasing your own self-confidence. In general, autosuggestion entails convincing yourself that you can achieve your goals, that your thoughts can be transformed into reality, and that you must be confident in going your own way. The more you use autosuggestion, the more likely it is to assist you in achieving your goals. If you imprint your desires and goals in your unconscious mind, They will guide all of your thoughts and actions in the direction of making them a reality. Part 4. Knowledge is power, and it doesn't have to come from school. Knowledge can make achieving your life goals a lot easier. All you have to do is consider a few fundamental points. First and foremost, you must discard the traditional definitions of knowledge and education. Because having a high school diploma or university degree isn't the only way to be knowledgeable or well-educated. As Henry Ford demonstrated, even the most uneducated people can know a lot. He didn't finish high school, but that didn't stop him from building an industrial empire and amassing millions. It's far more important to acquire the right experiences and knowledge, use your own strengths, and fully exploit your own potential than it is to stuff your head with too many facts if you want to be successful. The most important foundation is a desire to learn new things throughout your life. Your worst enemy is becoming complacent. Instead, you must be constantly prepared to actively and purposefully expand your own knowledge. This can be accomplished in a variety of ways, including attending university, taking evening classes, or gaining practical experience. It's also useful to know where you can get the information you need, because you don't have to know everything yourself. Instead, you need to know who you can turn to if you have a question. Being surrounded by a network of experts who share their specialized knowledge is usually more practical and productive than learning everything yourself. Part 5. Imagination is where our dreams come true. Every success story begins with a concept, and the imagination is at the root of all ideas. It is, in essence, our minds' creative workshop, which turns our dreams into ideas and our ideas into reality. The synthetic imagination and the creative imagination are two types of imaginative abilities. We can come up with completely new things by using our creative imagination. This function is used by brilliant composers, visual artists, and writers to create works that have never been seen before. By contrast, the synthetic imagination rearranges old ideas into new combinations. Sony, for example, used that ability when they decided to improve the playback device or dictaphone used by journalists by turning it into a portable music player that anyone could use. Thus, the Walkman was born. Synthetic and creative imagination can complement each other in a positive way. Take, for example, the story of Asa Candler, who created the global brand Coca-Cola out of a headache medicine 140 years ago. Candler developed the ingenious plans and marketing strategies that turned the product into a huge success, despite the fact that he didn't come up with a Coca-Cola recipe. He bought it for $3,000 from a pharmacist. You must challenge and encourage your imagination in order to keep it from becoming sluggish. And you can do so by stimulating it, keeping it active, and exercising it like a muscle. The more you use it, the more productive and powerful it becomes. Part 6. Knowing your own strengths and weaknesses can help you succeed. Being self-aware, or being aware of your own strengths and weaknesses, is an important component of professional success. Self-awareness can help you take constructive action against your weaknesses, or at the very least, balance them out with your strengths, because things like having vague goals, lacking ambition, procrastinating, and lacking resolve are common reasons for failure. It's a good idea to conduct a thorough and honest self-analysis in order to figure out exactly what your strengths and weaknesses are. Don't worry, you won't need to see a psychologist for this. It's more than enough to go over a list of questions such as, have I met my goal for the year? Was I always friendly, courteous, and cooperative? Did I make all of my decisions quickly and firmly? Then you should compare your subjective self-evaluation to another person's objective assessment of you. This works best when you sit down with someone who knows you well and discuss your strengths and weaknesses openly and honestly. Part 7. Positive emotions are essential to living a happy and successful life. Sensory stimuli, feelings, and thoughts are all received and stored by our subconscious. It keeps track of everything we've ever experienced, whether good or bad. But merely storing information isn't enough. Our subconscious is constantly exerting its influence on our actions. It has the ability to shape us positively, endowing us with strength and enterprise, as well as negatively, deluding us into despair and pessimism. As a result, if we want our subconscious to assist us in realizing our desires and goals, we must make positive feelings a priority in our lives. As a result, we must feed our subconscious positive things in order for it to function as a helpful and constructive guide. However, if we allow ourselves to experience too many negative emotions, such as rage, hatred, a desire for vengeance, or pessimism, we will experience the exact opposite. That's why in everyday life, you've taken a giant step forward when you can. For example, avoid contact with doomsaying windbags and ignore their depressing remarks. Instead, make it a point to boost all positive emotions, such as enthusiasm and love. That's the only way you'll be able to cultivate a positive mindset in the long run. Part 8. Successful people are known for their tenacity and perseverance. The analysis of over 25,000 life stories of people who failed to achieve professional success reveals that the main reason for their failure is a lack of determination. Multi-millionaire success stories, on the other hand, reveal that they all shared two characteristics. They were accustomed to making split-second decisions, and, once made, they stood firm in their convictions. A certain amount of obstinacy, as long as it does not become deafening obstinacy, can even be beneficial. Henry Ford, in particular, was known for sticking to his guns for long periods of time. Many people advised him, for example, to replace his famous, but not particularly attractive, Model T with a new model. However, he kept the car for a long time and was able to continue making substantial profits with it. Opinions are cheap, everyone has one, and the majority of people want to share it. It makes sense to give others as few opportunities as possible to express their critical opinions in order to avoid running into the danger of negative influences and straining your own steadfastness. People who are discouraged in particular should keep their plans and intentions to themselves and not reveal them to anyone else, with the exception of members of their hand-picked team or trustworthy outsiders. Part 9. Only the most determined will succeed. We will all face obstacles and difficulties during the course of any project, regardless of its scope. In such circumstances, most of us are far too quick to abandon our plans and abandon the project. However, despite the challenges, there are a few people who stick to their original plans and allow their dreams to blossom into reality. Perseverance and endurance are essential. That means, above all, that we work tirelessly to achieve our objectives and never lose sight of them. Obstinacy and inveteracy, on the other hand, should be avoided at all costs. If a price correction is absolutely necessary, you must also be willing to implement it. Here are 4 simple but crucial rules to follow if you want persistence and endurance to become ingrained in your habits. 1. You must set a specific goal for yourself and develop a strong desire to achieve it. 2. To support the implementation of your goals, you'll need a detailed and precise plan. 3. Negative and depressing viewpoints must not be allowed to influence you. 4. You require a close, trusting relationship with a person or group who can offer you support and assistance. Consider these guidelines as a unique exercise program for increasing your personal endurance and perseverance. Part 10. Be intelligent and surround yourself with intelligent people. The more complex the planning, the more difficult the goal's execution, the more reliant the project's brains will be on the creative, intellectual, and moral support of others. A brain trust, a select group of intelligent people, is the best way to achieve mutual support. A brain trust is a group of like-minded people who, unlike a network, focus on defining a common goal, developing competencies, and having a system of checks and balances. The most important principle of a brain trust is its synergistic effect. When 2 or more people who work well together combine their skills, talents, specialist knowledge, experiences, relationships, and all other resources to achieve the same shared goal, the results are more than the sum of their parts. It's a surplus with which you can achieve things you couldn't have done otherwise. Wealth in any form is rarely the result of chance or coincidence. Far from that, it is almost always the result of a variety of traits and skills that can be learned and acquired by anyone. This wraps up the summary from the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Thank you for sticking it out through the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make and is a labor of love. If you would like to contribute by buying me a cup of coffee, I'll leave the link below along with the link to this book. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe and watch these videos that might pique your interest. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep reading.